Good morning, dear students. Today we'll continue with the part 10 of chapter 6, that is life processes. Okay. So up to the structure and function of human heart we have finished. Now we'll see the transportation in plants, how the food and water get transported in the plant. Okay. So the topic for today is transportation in plants. Okay, so the transportation in plants means the transport of water, minerals and food. Okay, the transport of water, mineral and food to the various part of the plant is known as the transportation of plant. And we know that transportation in plants is done by two things, that is first is xylem. Okay, this is the form of tissue. Okay, we can say the two tissue which performs the transportation in plants. First is xylem and second is phloem. Okay, so xylem performs the transportation of water and mineral. Xylem performs the transportation of water and mineral. Okay, and phloem performs the transportation of food. Okay, phloem performs the transportation of food. Okay, clear? So xylem performs the transportation of water and minerals, and phloem performs the transportation of food. Okay, now we also know that xylem having the four parts in class 9, the chapter tissue. Okay, in the chapter tissue we have seen the four parts of xylem and four parts of phloem. Okay, what is the four parts of xylem? First is tracheids, second is vessel, third is xylem parenchyma, and fourth is xylem fibers, Okay, these are the four parts in which are present in the xylem tissue. Okay, in xylem tissue these four parts are present, as tracheids, vessel, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Okay, now in case of phloem there are also four parts. First is sieve tubes, second is companion cell, third is phloem parenchyma, and fourth is phloem fiber. Okay, phloem fiber. Okay, you can write these points. Okay, so these four parts are present which perform the transportation of food and minerals to from roots to the all part of the plant, and phloem performs the transportation of food from leaves to the all part of the plant. Okay, from leaves to the all part of the plant. Now, how the water and mineral is transported to the all part of plant from roots? Okay, we'll see, and how the food is transported from leaves to the all part of the plant. Okay, we'll see in detail. I hope you have understood all the four parts. Okay, so in case of xylem, we know that xylem performs the transportation of water and mineral. Okay, from roots to all parts of the plant. Okay, now how this transportation takes place, we'll see. See, in plants there is a continuous process which takes place is known as transpiration. Okay, transpiration process in plants, the process which continuously takes place is known as transpiration. Okay, what is the meaning of transpiration? Transpiration means the evaporation of water. Okay, the loss of water from the leaves is known as transpiration. See, from the leaves, suppose this is plant, okay, and this is the roots of the plant. Okay, now from here, if the transpiration takes place from the leaves, okay, that means here the concentration of water is decreases. And as we know that to the root part of the plants, at the root part of the plants there is a high concentration of water, because we know that root absorbs the water from the soil. Now if the transpiration process takes place, then the water will be evaporated from the leaves. That means here the concentration of water is decreases, and at the root parts we know that there is a concentration of water is high. Now as we have already discussed the process of osmosis, or we have already learned in the class 9 the process of osmosis. Osmosis means the transfer of water from its higher concentration to the lower concentration, is known as osmosis. Okay, so by the process of osmosis, the water is sucked from the roots to the all part of the plant. That means water is transported from roots to the all part of the plant, the process of osmosis, and the property of absorbing water from roots to the all part of the plant is known as cohesion property. The property is known as cohesion property. Okay, by which property water is supplied to the all part of the plant from the root? Cohesion property. Clear? Now in case of phloem, okay, phloem, the transportation of food. Phloem performs the transportation of food. Okay, phloem performs the function of transportation of food. Okay, now how the food is transported to the all part of the plant? Suppose this is plant, leaves, okay, and roots. Clear? Now we know that by the process of photosynthesis, the food is prepared in the leaves. Okay, the food is prepared in the leaves. Now, the food which is prepared in the leaves is transported to the stem part first. The food part which is prepared in the leaf by the photosynthesis is transported into the stem. First, it is transported into the stem. For example, this food which is prepared in the leaves is transported into the stem. Okay, so the food from leaves is transported into the stem. Now, what happens when the food which is prepared in the leaves is transported into the stem? Here, the concentration of water will get decreased. Okay, here the concentration of water will get decreased. Now you can see, or you can say, how the concentration of water is decreased. Since food is a solid part, when it is transferred from leaves to the stem, it will absorb the water. Because the solid part cannot be transported to the all part of the plant. Okay, understand, keep it in mind. The solid part cannot be transported to the all part of the plant. So the solid part, that is food part, from leaves to the stem it is transported. If it is transported from leaves to the stem, then it cannot be transported to the all part of the plant. It requires some water. Okay, so it will absorb the water from all part of the plant. First, then it will get dissolved in that water. It will get dissolved and mixed with that water, and that dissolved food is transported to the all part of the plant. that dissolved food, okay, with or it is mixed with the water, then the dissolved food is transported to the all part of the plant. Okay, so by this way the transportation is done in the plants. Okay, the transportation of water, minerals and food. Okay, xylem performs the transportation of water and minerals and phloem performs the transportation of food. Now there is one question asked in the board examination: what is the excretory product in plants? Excretory products in plants. There was one mark question. Name the excretory products in plant. So the answer was, or we can say the answer is water droplets. Second, gums, resins, CO2, etc. Water droplets, it is excreted by the plants. Gums, resins, CO2. Okay, these are the products which is excreted by the plant. Okay, one more question. Now the next topic is human excretory system. Okay, human excretory system. Okay, we'll see in detail human excretory system. Human excretory system. Okay, very important topic as far as your examination is concerned. Okay, very important topic. Now human excretory systems is, what is human excretory system first, or first we will see what is excretory system. So the excretory system is the process of removal of the waste material. The process of removal of waste material from our body to, okay, from our body is known as excretory system. The process of removal of waste products. The process of removal of waste products from our body is known as excretory system, and the product which is excreted from our body is known as the excretory product. Is known as excretory product. Okay, what is excretory system? The process of removal of waste product from our body. Okay, and the waste product which is removed from our body are known as excreted products. Okay, are known as excretory products. Now, human excretory system containing the following parts. Okay, first we will see. Now, in human excretory system there are a diagram. By the diagram you can understand. Pay attention here how to draw the diagram first. See, human excretory system containing the following parts. Okay, one pair of kidney. Okay, one pair of kidney. Okay, now from the kidney, two pipeline-like structure. Okay, from the kidney there is two pipeline-like structure. The two tubes-like structure. Okay, the two tubes-like structure is released from the kidney. Okay, then there is one bag-like structure. There is one bag-like structure. And finally, now see, this is the diagram for the human excretory system. First, let me label the diagram. This is kidney. Okay. Now this is the two cap-like structures. The two cap-like structures are known as adrenal gland. Adrenal gland. Okay. Now this pipeline or tube-like structure is known as renal artery. Renal artery. And this second tube is called renal vein. Okay. Now these two black tube-like structures are known as ureters. Okay. This bag-like structure is known as urinary bladder. Urinary bladder. And finally, the tube which is opened from the urinary bladder is known as urethra. Okay. Let me see the diagram. It is visible or not? Yes. Okay, it is clearly visible. Okay. Now human excretory system containing the following parts. First, a pair of kidney, bean-shaped structure, 2 in number. Okay. Above the kidney there is two cap-like structure. Okay, are known as adrenal gland. This red color tube is known as renal artery. This blue color tube is known as renal vein. The two pipeline which is released from the kidney is known as ureters, tube-like structures. The bag-like structure is known as urinary bladder, and finally the structure which is opened from the urinary bladder, okay, which is opening outside the urinary bladder is known as urethra. Okay. Now we'll see the clear-cut description, okay, from each and every part of the diagram. First we'll see the pair of kidney. Okay, first there are a pair of kidney in human excretory system. Now listen it carefully. The kidneys are 2 in number. Right kidney is slightly upper than left kidney. Right kidney is slightly upper than left kidney. Okay, right kidney is slightly upper than left kidney. Second point. Okay, first point, it is bean-shaped structure and 2 in number. First point, it is bean-shaped structure and 2 in number. Second point, right kidney is slightly upper than left kidney. Third, very important point. Okay, in male, the weight of kidney is 150 grams. In case of male, the weight of kidney, each kidney is 150 grams, and in case of female, the weight of each kidney is 135 grams. 135 grams. Now, what is the reason behind it? What is the reason behind the difference of this weight? What is the reason behind the difference of this weight? 150 gram and 135 gram. Why the kidney in male is slightly heavier than the females? The answer is, in male there is one sex or hormones which is known as testosterone. By the testosterone only, okay, by the testosterone only, the muscle weight of human is more as compared to female. The organs or muscles weight is more in case of male as compared to female, because in male there is one sex hormone which is known as testosterone, and because of testosterone only there is difference of weight in the muscles or organ in case of males and females. Okay, if you remember, we have already discussed in case of lungs. Okay, right lungs and left lungs. Okay, in case of lungs, okay, male lungs is slightly heavier as compared to female. Okay, the male lungs is slightly heavier as compared to female. Here also, in case of male it is 150 gram, in case of female it is 135 gram. Okay, so in case of kidney there are 2 in number, bean-shaped structure. Okay, right kidney is slightly upper as compared to left kidney. Okay, then in case of male it is 150 gram, and in case of female it is 135 grams. Okay, now kidney, the main function of kidney is to filter the blood. The main function of the kidney is to filter the blood, or we can say the filtration of blood is the main function of the kidney. Now, in kidney there are millions of nephrons are present. There are millions of nephrons present in kidney. In each kidney there are millions of nephrons present, and that nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidney. Nephrons are the structural and functional unit of kidney. Okay, if anybody asks you what is the structural and functional unit of kidney, we'll see, or can say the nephrons are the structural and functional unit of kidney. Okay, in kidney nephron only filters the blood. Okay, we'll see how nephron filters the blood in detail. Okay, there is one topic, the structure and function of nephron. Okay, now the kidney is artery number. Then the renal artery and renal vein are the two tubes which are connected to the right and left kidney. Okay, then the two tube-like structure which is released from the kidney. What is the function? To carry urine. Okay, carry urine from kidney to urinary bladder. Okay, from kidney to urinary bladder. Now this two tube-like structure, the length of this tube-like structure is 30 centimeter. Okay, 25 to 30 centimeter length. The length of this tube-like structure, that is ureters. Okay, each ureter carries the urine from kidney. Okay, from kidney to urinary bladder. From kidney to urinary bladder. Okay, the length of each tube is 25 to 30 centimeter. Okay, now the ureter carries the urine from kidney and opens into the urinary bladder, which is a bag-like structure. So the urine is stored in this bag-like structure, which is known as urinary bladder. Okay, now we can think the urine is stored in urinary bladder. Okay, the urine is stored in the urinary bladder. So when the continuously urine in form of droplets, okay, is stored in the urinary bladder. Okay. Now see, these urine droplets are continuously stored in the urinary bladder, and there is one muscle which is present in the walls of urinary bladder, is known as this detrusor muscle. Okay, is known as detrusor muscle. Okay, detrusor muscle. Because of the detrusor muscles only, urinary bladder can swallow. Okay, can be stored more amount of urine. Okay, it is a bag-like structure which can be swallowed. Okay, which can be increased in size when the more amount of urine comes. Okay, when more amount of urine is comes, it can store more amount of urine because it is having a muscle which is known as detrusor muscle. Therefore, it is a flexible. This structure is very flexible. It can store more amount of urine. Okay, so the muscle which is present in the walls of urinary bladder is known as detrusor muscle. Okay, and finally, this urine, when this bag is full of urine, okay, then the urine is excreted from our body through the urethra. This is a tube-like structure. Okay, in case of males, the urethra is 20 centimeter. Okay, 20 centimeter long. Okay, about 20 centimeter, not exactly, about 20 centimeter. And in case of female, the urethra is 3 to 5 centimeter long. Okay, this is all about the human excretory system. Clear? Okay, two cap-like structure which is present above the kidney is known as adrenal gland. Okay, the pair of kidney, the two tubes-like structure which is known as ureters. It is 25 to 30 centimeter in length. It carries urine from kidney to the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder is a bag-like structure which stores the urine. When this bag is full of urine, the urine is released by the urethra. In case of male, the urethra is 20 centimeter, about 20 centimeter, 15 to 20 centimeter long, and in case of female, the urethra is only 3 to 5 centimeter long. Okay, this is all about the human excretory system. The next topic and the final topic for the chapter life process is the structure and function of nephron. Okay, if you want to draw this diagram, you can pause the video and draw the diagram. The last topic for this chapter is structure and function of nephron. Okay, now see, pay attention here. Okay, see the diagram carefully. Okay, then I explain each and every part in detail. And this is very important for your examination, because this is asked many times in your examination. Okay, see, okay. Now there are some network of blood capillaries are present. Okay, network of blood capillaries are present, and these blood capillaries are joined by the two Okay, now I will label this diagram. See, first this is efferent arterial, efferent arterial. This is efferent arterial. Okay. This network of blood capillaries are known as glomerulus. Okay. This cup-shaped structure is known as Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule. Okay. The tube which is very coiled, is known as PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. Okay. This U-shaped structure is known as loop of Henle's. The loop of Henle's. Okay. This is less coiled structure as compared to PCT is known as DCT, distal convoluted tubule, and the final structure is known as collecting duct. This final tube is known as collecting duct. Okay. So we'll understand the structure and function of nephron. This is the very basic structure of nephron. You can draw this diagram in your examination. See, first efferent arterial and efferent arterial. Now efferent arterial will carries the impure blood from all part of the body. Listen it carefully. The efferent arterial carries the impure blood from all parts of the body to the kidney. Okay, and this efferent arterial carries the filtered blood which is free from waste product. Efferent arterial carries the filtered blood which is free from waste product. Now you can ask the question, here the blood is impure and here the blood is filtered, and what is the process in between these two arteries? So we'll understand the process of filtration takes place here. We'll see one by one. See, this cup-shaped structure is known as Bowman's capsule. The network of blood capillaries is known as glomerulus. This very coiled structure is known as PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. The U-shaped structure is known as loop of Henne's. Okay, this is known as BCT. It is less coiled as compared to PCT. And finally, the urine is excreted stored into the collecting duct. Okay. Now, when the impure blood with the waste product, when the impure bloods, that means the blood which carries the impure waste materials. Okay, the blood which carries the waste material comes here. Here, some network of capillaries is present, which is known as glomerulus. The network of blood capillaries or network of capillaries, not blood capillary, network of capillaries are present, which is known as glomerulus. Okay, here there are some pressure. Okay, the afferent arteriole carries the impure blood with the pressure. So here in this capillaries, that means in glomerulus, the blood gets filtered. Now, the blood gets filtered, that means what? The substance which is permeable through the glomerulus will be filtered. That means the waste product is filtered here, which is small in size. Okay, small in size. The waste product which are small in size is get filtered here. Okay, in glomerulus, and the products or the materials which are larger in size are not filtered here. Okay, they carry from the afferent arteriole. That means what? You know that in blood there is plasma, RBC, WBC are present. Plasma, proteins, RBC, WBC is present. So plasma, proteins, RBC and WBC is not filtered here. Okay, they are not filtered here because they are essential elements for our body. So they are not filtered here. Only the waste substance which are small in size get filtered in the glomerulus, and the rest of the blood which is having the plasma protein, RBC and WBC is carried by the afferent arteriole to the all part of the body. Now the waste product which is filtered here is again transported into the PCT. Again transported into the PCT. How it is transported? Bowman's capsule also having some minute pores. Okay, Bowman's capsule also having the minute pores. Through this minute pore, the waste substances are transferred into the PCT. Now there is important fact. Each day about 180 liter of glomerulus. Okay, that means now what is glomerulus filtrate? First I will explain what is glomerulus filtrate. The blood after filtration, the pure blood is carried to the all part of the body, and the blood which is filtered, that means waste product which is filtered, that filtered material is known as glomerulus filtrate. So in each kidney produces about 180 liter of glomerulus filtrate. Okay, which is transported into the PCT. Now there is one important fact. Each kidney produces about 180 liter of glomerulus filtrate, and we are excreting only 2 liters of urine. Okay, 2 or 2.5 liter of urine each day. 180 liter of glomerulus filtrate is transported into the PCT, and we release the urine only 2 liter a day. That means where is the rest 178 ml of filtrate? Okay, what happened with the rest of 178 liters of filtrate? So when the glomerulus filtrate is transported into the PCT, okay, about 70% of glomerulus filtrate is reabsorbed. Okay, when the glomerulus filtrate is transported into the PCT, okay, from the PCT, the 70% of the glomerulus filtrate is reabsorbed. How it is reabsorbed? PCT is connected with some small blood vessels. Okay, PCT is connected with small blood vessels which are known as vasa recta. Okay, very important name. Okay, PCT is connected with the very small blood vessels which which are known as vasa recta. So glomerulus filtrate, about 70% part of the glomerulus filtrate is reabsorbed in PCT and transported into the blood vessels, which is known as vasa recta, Now 70% of the glomerulus filtrate is reabsorbed. That means water, amino acids, okay, minerals, glucose are absorbed, okay, in the PCT. Water, amino acid, minerals, glucose, ions are absorbed in the PCT. And rest 30% is transported into the Henle's loop. Okay, now Henle's loop, as you can see, in case of Henle's loop, there are two arms. First is descending arm, second is ascending arm. Okay, descending arm and second is ascending arm. So in case of Henle's loop, when the rest 30% filtrate comes in the Henle's loop, so in case of descending arm, only water is reabsorbed. That is what the descending arm of the Henle's loop is permeable only for the water. That means the concentration of urine decreases. And in case of ascending arm, only ions get reabsorbed. That means here the concentration is decreased. If water is absorbed in the descending arm of Henle's loop, that means the concentration of urine is increased because water is removed. If the water is removed, the concentration will get increased. But in case of ascending arm, when the filtrate is transferred into the ascending arm, only the ions is reabsorbed. The ions which are essential for our body is reabsorbed. Therefore, here the concentration of urine is increases. Now, finally, the filtrate, that means the urine, okay, is transported into the DCT. Okay, in DCT, the substance which are not filtered here, that means some drugs, which are not filtered here. Okay, the medicine which we are eating, if it is not filtered here, then that waste drugs, okay, the active ingredient from the drugs is used by our body, and the rest of the material which is waste of our body, which is not filtered here, that is transported into the DCT. Okay, that means here the concentration of urine is again increased. And finally, the urine is transported into the collecting duct. Okay, and the collecting duct is connected to the ureters. And from the ureter, urinary bladder, and the urine is excreted from the body. So this is all about the structure and function of nephron. Now, some important facts. What is the pH of urine? The normal average pH of urine is 6, but it can be varies from 4.5 to 8.5. Okay, some important facts. Urine is yellow in color. Why urine is yellow in color? There was a question asked by one student. Why urine is yellow in color? So urine is yellow in color, okay, by one pigment. Okay, the pigment which is present in urine, by that pigment only the urine is yellow in color, and the name of that pigment is known as bilirubin. Okay, bilirubin. Okay, so and next question is pH of urine is almost 6. Okay, is almost 6, and it can vary from 4.5 to 8.5. Okay, depending on our consumption, which type of food we eat. Okay, when we eat vegetables, the pH will get decreased, and when we eat fruit, the pH will get increased. pH increase हो जाता है food, and when we eat vegetable, the pH will get decreased. So depending on our food consumption, the pH of urine can be vary. It can be vary from 4.5 to 8.5, but the normal average pH of urine is 6. Okay, so that was all for the chapter life processes. We have completed all parts in detail. I hope you have understood. Okay, thank you so much.